Ottawa residents feeling betrayed by transit. We seek answers regarding the most recent trouble on the tracks, as the provincial promise to take over responsibility still lacks firm timelines. Good afternoon. This is CTV News at 5. I'm Stefan. Frustrated LRT passengers looking for more answers today after last night's fiasco along the rails. A stalled train during rush hour had passengers disembarking and getting to the nearest station on foot. It's just the latest in a number of incidents that leave riders wondering when things will get better. Overcrowding on downtown platforms started when a westbound train reported mechanical failure between Lyon and Pimisi station Tuesday night. The train stalled and was stuck on the tracks for nearly 2 hours. Riders on the train say they're frustrated with the incident, but also the overall system that continues to be unreliable and disruptive. Some are even wondering if OC Transpo owes them compensation.
As soon as we hit the outdoor section, heading into Pimisi station, the train kind of lurched forward and came to an abrupt stop. It was just another nail in the coffin of a really terrible service that our mayor should honestly be really embarrassed about and should be taking much faster action on.
The head of OC Transpo says that compensating riders would be a decision for councillors, but would place further pressure on the cash-strapped transit system. OC Transpo is already facing a nearly $50 million hole in its budget. Meanwhile, Ontario's premier is in town and being asked about his promise to upload LRT responsibility to the province. At the time, it seemed like a commitment to rescue the ailing service, but so far it hasn't happened, and many are wondering why. CTV's Caitlin Wilson joins us live with the latest on that. Caitlin.
Yes, Stefan, there is no clear timeline for when the province will take over Ottawa's LRT, even as the city faces a multi-million-dollar hole in its transit budget. It's a promise the Conservatives made during the election campaign, but nearly a year later, there's still no agreement and no clear steps on what happens next. Last February, Premier Doug Ford promised during his campaign to upload Ottawa's LRT system to Metrolinx. Negotiations started in the fall, but nearly a year later, there seems to be little progress made on the transfer. At City Hall today, the mayor says negotiations are complicated, adding it would save the city $85 million a year. The premier was also in Ottawa today, but gave no indication as to why little progress has been made.
This is a game changer for the residents of Ottawa and for public transit in our city. We've had multiple conversations with them recently about moving this forward, and I can't give a timeline at this point, but there's a willingness on both sides to make progress on this in the near future.
We're continuing to work with them, and we're going to continue talking to them. We've made some huge investments for the people of Ottawa, and we're going to continue to invest in the people of Ottawa.
The city needs this deal to address the $47 million gap in its transit budget, and officials say they've been hoping senior levels of government would step in. The mayor says he's hoping to meet with the province soon to try and move those talks forward. Stefan?
CTV's Caitlin Wilson reporting live for us. Thank you, Caitlin. Now, keep in mind, Ford is in the capital today for a meeting with the Prime Minister and other Canadian premiers. The two-day gathering is said to be focusing on the economy, affordability, and trade. The premiers say they're going to show a united Team Canada front as trade tensions rise again with the U.S. The Prime Minister is expected to have separate meetings with some of the leaders today ahead of a full gathering tomorrow. The meetings come ahead of negotiations to renew the Canada-United States-Mexico agreement, which is due for its first formal review this summer. Turning now to the latest developments and reaction to federal job cuts. Union leaders are issuing a fresh warning tonight that services and programs will be affected by the latest round of workforce reductions. They're calling for clarity from federal officials and argue the government is keeping Canadians in the dark. CTV's Austin Lee is here with more. Austin.
Yes, Stefan, the federal government is really ramping up the number of those workforce adjustment notices that are being sent to workers. In just the past 2 weeks, 15,000 of those notices have been sent to employees, public sector employees, and many are learning they will soon be laid off. Today, dozens of workers and union leaders gathered just outside the West Block. Now that MPs have returned to the House of Commons for the winter sitting of Parliament, union leaders are warning widespread layoffs across multiple departments will impact services that many Canadians rely on, from food inspection and old age security to employment insurance checks and passport delivery.
What will happen to these departments and agencies? Because the work doesn't go away. Someone has to do it. So the question is, what is their plan? Is it contracting out? Is it privatization? Because at the end of the day, people will be put at risk if that work is not done.
Wednesday's rally calling on the federal government to share those details on how services and programs could be affected. The Public Service Alliance of Canada says they are learning of job cuts through what they call piecemeal notices and updates. Now, the federal government is looking to cut in total about 28,000 jobs over the next 4 years as part of its comprehensive expenditure review. The goal there is to save $60 billion. Stefan.
All right, CTV's Austin Lee reporting for us. Thank you, Austin. And other news, travelers are being reassured that all is well after a small plane left the runway at the Ottawa airport. According to airport officials, the pilot of the aircraft reported issues with landing gear before declaring an emergency this morning, adding that because one side of the gear wouldn't lock in place, it slid off the runway. Social media photos show the plane sitting in the snow beside the tarmac. Only the pilot was on board. He wasn't injured, and the incident did not impact normal operations at YOW. Ottawa City Council has approved a new zoning bylaw that will change the way neighborhoods are built and developed in the capital for years to come. Councillors unanimously approved the final draft today. The bylaw governs everything from the height of apartment buildings to where businesses can operate. The changes come following a review to give more freedom to builders so that more homes could become available. One of the most notable changes will be allowing a maximum height of 3 stories in most neighborhoods, with options to increase to 4 stories where appropriate. That means, in theory, Ottawa suburbs could see more triplexes being built and rented out. Today, councillors also confirmed the landfill is being a done deal. Ottawa taxpayers are set to become the owners of an East End dump that's being purchased for $95 million. The sale is being regarded as a win, with the land valued above the $140 million mark. It's situated on Boundary Road between Divine Road and Highway 417. Now that it has been bought, city staff will work to integrate it into the waste management plan. More details on that are set to become available next year. The Bank of Canada is holding its key interest rate at 2.25%. This, as data in recent weeks shows the country's economy has largely been stable and in line with central bank's outlook despite U.S. tariffs. The rate announcement also comes as the Canadian economy faces an uncertain future with the scheduled review of the Canada-U.S.-Mexico trade agreement set for later this year. Last month, the Bank of Canada governor said that he believes inflation is likely to hold at around its 2% target, but if the outlook changes, it's prepared to respond. Several people are responding to a new snow removal idea for the city of Ottawa, and it's something already being done in a sizable municipality like Mississauga. We're talking about the wall of snow the plows leave behind at the end of your driveway. Some think the city should take care of clearing it instead of residents risking injury by tackling the often tough and compacted snow with a shovel. CTV's Tyler Fleming is live in Nepean with more. Tyler.
Yeah, Stefan, on top of the back-breaking labor of having to shovel that slushy, heavy pile away, I'm going to break people's spirits too. The city says they're probably not going to start taking it away. Now, if you have a driveway, you've likely dealt with the dreaded windrow, the pile left behind by a passing plow. Now, some municipalities, like Mississauga, have specialized equipment to clear these windrows. It costs taxpayers around $50 per household per year, and while many residents say it would be a great addition to snow removal, well, it's not happening. It's just costs too much.
The machines come in and they just push the snow in front of the driveways. It's just like, why not push it down the street or push it over there? Like,
it'd be worth it for the convenience, but I don't know if I want to pay extra taxes.
We've evaluated it before. Back even a few years ago, we were talking $20 million. And that's only to serve a small segment of the population of Ottawa, because of course not everyone has a laneway. At this point, it's just not cost effective.
Now, if you haven't cleared your windrow yet, well, the city's actually starting to remove snow banks around the city. So, hey, you might not have to clear it right away, because let me tell you here, Stefan, these things are very miserable, and everybody knows it happens when you totally finish shoveling your driveway and you think you're done. Now, for some seniors and for those with disabilities, the city does offer a program. It's called the Go Snow program, I believe, and it can help connect those with services to help them do that.
All right, usually the worst part of the shoveling job. CTV's Tyler Fleming reporting live on location for us. Thank you, Tyler. Coming up on CTV News at 5, what does OC Transpo need to do to regain riders' trust? We discuss with CFRA's Christy Cameron shortly. And our Jackie Perez is giving you the weather live from tonight's Ottawa Charge game. Jackie.
Well, thanks so much, Stefan. It's a tad warmer in here, but with that ice, still kind of cold. But temperatures are starting to drop after the wonderful sunshine that we had. Taking a look at conditions right now across eastern Ontario, we can see that temperatures sitting around minus 11, minus 13. But you factor in the wind chill for here in Ottawa, still feeling closer to minus 18. Taking a look at our overnight lows, well, going down to about minus 16. There is still a slight chance that we could see some flurries moving in, not into the overnight hours, but also into tomorrow morning. We'll have a full look at your weather forecast in just a bit, but for now, we'll take it back to you in studio. Stefan.
Thanks, Jackie. A live check on traffic. Right now, we're hearing that the westbound lanes of the Queensway are slow from Nicholas here in the downtown core all the way to Moody in the West End. There's also a crash on the on-ramp at Maitland you need to know about. Eastbound is slow from Bronson to Innis. There's a crash at O'Connor in the eastbound lanes. And 174 eastbound slow from the split to Montreal Road. We'll be right back. Returning to a local hot topic, frustration is once again boiling over with Ottawa Transit users. There's more chaos and confusion for LRT riders last night as hundreds were stuck on overcrowded platforms because of a stopped train. Some riders had to walk through the snow after evacuating the stalled train. Today's radio question of the day is asking, how can OC Transpo win back your trust?
I guess send more buses on time, or send buses that come when they say they're supposed to. So if it says it's on the schedule, it actually arrives when it's supposed to. That would be really helpful.
Christy Cameron is here. That listener says essentially, you know, if the schedule were honest, that they would trust OC Transpo again. Now, we talk back and forth all the time, and last night I understood, as my friend, you were also stuck on an overcrowded platform while leaving work. Tell us the first-hand experience you had.
Yeah, and I do want to say, I think Robin, that listener that we had a clip of, is incredibly patient because she says she was stuck on that stranded train for 75 minutes. Yikes. And then when she got off, not even an apology, not even a warm bus, okay? So I didn't have it like that, but I had somewhere to be at 10 to 7 last night. Got on the train at Rideau, got off at Lyon to switch trains, and that's where everything went downhill. Everybody was getting off and the train wasn't coming, and the digital display board was living in an alternate reality, okay?
Oh,
it had a mythical 1-minute arrival for the train. That didn't happen. Waited 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, that's when I tapped out. I got on the phone, I got a bailout ride, and I got to where I needed to be, but not everybody has that option. And that's my answer for our question of the day. Better communication. People need to trust that transit is going to work. And if it doesn't, they're also human. They understand, they're logical. It's a bad weather day, or we're having a problem, a cancellation of a bus or a train that has a mechanical glitch. But you have to communicate the bad news early. Tell people the train isn't coming. Don't have a digital display board that says 1 minute and then nothing after that, no ETA, because people are going to have to call that Uber anyway. They're going to pay that 20 or 25 bucks. They may as well do it instead of waiting half an hour.
Yeah, and
right?
Chris, I have to let you go, but one final note. We understand work-life balance, but as someone who tries to communicate to the public, there was little information I could get out of OC Transpo last night. I understand it's after hours, but it's a situation like this, you'd expect some communique.
Yeah, and I will say, I know we're almost out of time, that, you know, the cuts haven't worked. The new ways to bus and cutting back on buses did not work. And now they're saying again, well, we don't have enough buses on the road, so we'll cut more, and that'll make it more reliable. A lot of people don't believe that.
Yeah. The frustration is real and understandable. Thank you, Christy. You can join the conversation, leave a comment through the TalkBack feature on the iHeartRadio app. You can listen live to Christy Cameron on News Talk 580 CFRA weekdays from 2 to 6, and also watch her on YouTube. Coming up on CTV News at 5, with the Olympic Games quickly approaching, we'll introduce you to the Canadian athletes who will carry our country's flag at the opening ceremony. Coming up tonight on CTV after the news, E-Talk starts at 7, shifting gears at 7:30, The Masked Singer at 8, then Fear Factor, House of Fear at 9, and Shark Tank at 10. Now for another check on the weather forecast, let's go back live to Jackie, who's at TD Place Arena for us tonight. The Ottawa Charge game is happening a little later, Jackie.
Yes, puck drop is at 7 o'clock, Stefan, and this will be the final game before we break for the Olympics. So a lot of people coming down as well, and I do want to show off. What is this? It is the Brianne Jenner bobblehead, which I'm going to drop soon. I can't break it. I promised Director Marlene I wouldn't drop it. So there it is. But let's get to our weather conditions right now. We are looking at mainly clear skies here moving through. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. It's -11, but when you factor in that wind chill, feeling closer to -18. So we did see a little bit of flurries move through closer to the Kingston area, but mainly sunny skies for here, including downtown Ottawa. There is still a snow squall watch in place for the Kingston area and a snow squall warning in effect between Belleville and Kingston. Drifting snow, reducing visibility on the road. So keep an eye on this if you are along the 401 corridor. Now, we may see light flurries move through the valley and south of Kingston over Lake Ontario through the evening into tomorrow. Mainly sunny skies for our Thursday, but the chance of flurries is still lingering through. When we look at what we can expect, we'll have a closer look at our next 24 hours. It is going to be about -13 this evening. Overnight temperatures -15, feeling more like -20 when you head out tomorrow morning. Mainly sunny skies, but we are getting to a daytime high of about -15. So -15 will be the overnight low for the Seaway. Daytime high -11, mainly cloudy skies. And as we look towards our friends in the valley, -16 is going to be the average temperature for parts of Pembroke and Petawawa. Sunny skies is what we're looking towards as well. So after weeks of cloudy, snowy, gray skies, we are getting a little bit more sunshine moving through Eastern Ontario. For Thursday, daytime high -11. Friday, we are bookmarking for the start of Winterlude. Daytime high will be -13, and we get back to seasonal conditions. I'm looking forward to Saturday and Sunday, though, stuff where temperatures are not only going to be hovering just slightly below -10, but we are going to get more sunshine as well. And I just want to apologize, Director Marlene, for almost nearly dropping the bobblehead. It's a two-piecer, so this is what people will be getting. I believe there's 6,000 available, and that's when the doors open very shortly. We'll take it back to you in studio.
All right, Jackie. I want to say the key words were almost, because your reflexes were impressive, my friend. You take care. We'll chat soon.
I was so scared.
Here's a look at the stories you're checking out right now on ctvnewsottawa.ca. If you go to the homepage right now, our breaking news banner is up, and that's because CTV has sources that has confirmed that the federal government has signed a memorandum of understanding with South Korea. They are in talks to bring auto manufacturing to Canada. It'll be interesting to see if the Premier got a heads up on this one or how he responds. We know he didn't respond too kindly to China, but more details are on our website, ctvnewsottawa.ca.
This is one of the best winters we've had for a long time.
I just don't like the cold anymore.
Coming up for us here on CTV News at 5, there's still a long way to go before winter is over. Are you embracing the cold and snow or ready to see the end of the season and see all of the white stuff go? If you need gas this evening, one of today's cheapest gas prices can be found at the Petro-Canada station on Robertson Road in Bell's Corners. Regular gas there is listed for 109.9 cents a litre. You're watching CTV News at 5. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. Current temperature -11. And time now for a look ahead to CTV News at 6. Here's Patricia Bull.
Thanks, Steph. Here's what we're working on for 6 o'clock.
It's just another nail in the coffin of a really terrible service that our mayor should honestly be really embarrassed about and should be taking much faster action on.
Rising frustration for transit users. This is why escalating LRT Line 1 service disruptions are leading to questions about customer compensation.
Work doesn't go away. Someone has to do it. So the question is, what is their plan?
As layoff notices continue to go out, federal public service workers calling for clarity and saying the government is keeping Canadians in the dark. And the fan favorite fleece jacket worn by one of the main characters in Heated Rivalry will be available to buy. Details on the release of the viral item from the wildly popular Canadian show. All of that and more is coming up tonight on CTV News at 6. That's right after the early edition of CTV National News with Sandy Ronaldo at 5:30. Steph.
Thank you, Patricia. Now the final 5 other stories we're following today. We now know who will carry Canada's flag at the opening ceremony of the Winter Olympics. Olympic champions Michael Kingsbury and Marielle Thompson have been selected for the honor on February 6th in northern Italy. Kingsbury is a 3-time Olympic medalist in moguls. The Quebec native was the first male mogul skier to win 3 Olympic gold medals. Thompson is from Whistler, BC. She's also had an impressive career, winning gold in her Olympic debut in 2014 and adding a silver in 2022.
Home openers on May 8th, and we've got a great special announcement coming on February 11th when our home opener tickets go on sale to, kickstart a great season and make sure everyone understands that, baseball's in full swing in Ottawa.
The Ottawa Titans are getting ready for a new season at the ballpark. With opening day just a few months away, the team is building toward a 2026 home opener on Friday, May 8th. Fans can expect another summer of special events and a full season of baseball action right here in the capital.
The Senators 2 goals in the last 2 shots. Another one, make it 3-0. Here come the Senators.
A big night for hockey fans here in the capital. The Ottawa Senators are back on home ice tonight, taking on the Colorado Avalanche. Puck drop at the CTC is 7:30 p.m. And as you heard from Jackie, the Ottawa Charge are hosting the Seattle Torrent tonight at TD Place Arena. And the first 6,000 fans at tonight's game will receive a Captain Brianne Jenner bobblehead. Also, a small magnitude 3.7 earthquake struck southern Ontario late last night. Earthquakes Canada says it happened at 10:59 p.m. with the epicenter located 23 kilometers southeast of Orillia. Roughly 2,200 people reported feeling the quake from areas including Kitchener, Toronto, Belleville, and Niagara Falls so far. There's been no indication that the quake caused any injuries or damage.
You're only a week beyond what we call the dead of winter, the halfway point. So there's still a lot of winter to go.
Love it or hate it, winter isn't done yet. While many have had enough of the cold and snow, others are putting on the layers, bundling up, and embracing the season. Thank you so much for watching CTV News at 5. Early Edition Nationals is now.